absolute value means the distance from 0. We have the absolute value of 5. How far away is 0 from 5? It's 5. And then negative 5 is also 5 away from 0. Okay. First thing we're doing today, isolate the absolute value, just like yesterday where we isolated the square root. Okay. Then we are going to split into two equations. One is going to equal a positive, one is going to equal the negative version. Then you solve both equations for your variable. Alright, so first things first, we have to isolate the absolute value. Is there anything outside of our absolute value? Yeah, what is outside of it? Yep, that minus 5. So in order to get rid of a minus 5, we add 5 to both sides. So we have the absolute value of 2x. And what is negative 1 plus 5? Good. Now is there anything outside of our absolute value? Nope, it's isolated. So we have to split into two equations. One's going to equal positive 4. One's going to equal negative 4. So to solve this, we have to get rid of the 2 by dividing on both sides. You get x equals positive 2. Or on this side, we would divide both sides by 2. We get x equals negative 2. So those are two possible answers, positive 2 or negative 2. Any questions on that one? Okay. The one on the right here, is there anything outside of our absolute value? Yep, what's outside? The 4. How do we get rid of that 4? Yeah, we have to divide on this one because when there's no operation, it means multiplication. Opposite of multiplication is division. So we have the absolute value of x plus 9 equals, what's 24 divided by 4? Good. Okay, we are going to split it now because our absolute value is isolated. So we have x plus 9 equals 6, and x plus 9 equals negative 6. Okay, how do we get rid of a plus 9? Subtract it. So we would have x equals 6 minus 9 is negative 3. Or we have to subtract 9 again. What's negative 6 minus 9? Negative 15. Any questions on that one? Sweet. Move on to this next one. So on this one, what do we have to get rid of first? Yep, the 13. How do we get rid of a plus 13? Good. So we have the absolute value of x over 4 equals 2. Okay, we still have to get rid of that 4 because it's not inside of our absolute value. How do we get rid of a divided by 4? Good. Multiply it by 4. So we get the absolute value of x equals, what's 2 times 4? 8. So since it's positive 8, we split into two equations. we get x equals positive 8 and x equals negative 8. And we don't have to do anything because our variable is already isolated. Awesome. Okay, this one. Do we have anything outside of our absolute value? Nope. So our first step here is to split into two equations. So we have x plus 2 over 3 equals 5, and x plus 2 over 3 equals negative 5. Okay. So in order to get rid of this divided by 3, we have to multiply by 3 on both sides. So that's going to be our first step. So we have x plus 2 equals 5 times 3 is 15. Then we have to get rid of this plus 2 by subtracting 2. So we get x equals 13. Or on this other side, we multiply by 3 again. We get x plus 2 equals negative 5 times 3 is negative 15. And we got to get rid of that plus 2 by subtracting again. So we get, or x equals, what's negative 15 minus 2? Perfect. Alright, let's move on to the back. Actually, one thing before we move on to the back. I'm going to zoom this out real quick. We're going to look at something. Okay, right before we split this, it's equal to positive 4, right? Right before we split this, it's equal to positive 6. Right before we split this, what's it equal to? Positive 8, okay? Right before we split this, it's equal to positive 5, okay? So, keep that in mind. Oh, and then one other thing. How many solutions do we have on each of these? 2. Okay. All right, continuing on. How do we get rid of this 4 in front of our absolute value? Divide. So we have the absolute value of 2x minus 10 equals, what's 0 divided by 4? 0. Okay, this is where we would split it into something equals positive 0 and something equals negative 0. What's the thing about 0? It's the same. 0 and negative 0 are the same thing. Okay, so we only have to write it into one equation because it means the same thing. So 2x minus 10 equals 0. We solve it. So we would get 2x equals 10. Then we divide by 2. We get x equals 5. So how many solutions do we have when it equals 0? One solution. Alright, this last one. We have to get rid of this negative 2. It's being multiplied, so we divide both sides by negative 2. So we have 3x over 5 equals negative 8. What did I say about absolute values? They can't equal what? A negative. So this one would be no solution because it equals a negative. Absolute values always make everything positive, so it can never equal a negative. So in synopsis, if we have our absolute value equal to a negative number, how many solutions do we have? None. So this would be no solution. Okay, if it's equal to 0, how many solutions do we have? Good. And then when it was positive, how many solutions do we have? Good. So keep that in mind as you're working on your assignment, because there will be some that are equal to 0, some that are negatives, and some that are positives.